Hey friend, welcome back. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Since kids have gone back to school or are about to, when this releases, my kids will be a couple days away from starting. And I know a lot of the country has already gone back to school. So I thought today's episode was right on time. Tips for saving money on kids' school lunches. So if you are anything like me, you don't want to spend a ton of money packing your kids' lunch. And I have some great tips on how you can reduce those costs and still be creative and send them with lunches that they would love to eat. Are you ready? Let's dive in. And real quick, if you have not yet subscribed, can you do that now or follow my show? It lets the platform know you'd like to get notified of any future episodes that I release. How can you save some money on your kids' school lunches this school year and beyond? So number one is see first if you qualify for free or reduced school lunches. So these are for the lunches at school that they serve. If you are lower income, you may qualify for the entire meal free. And usually if you do, you qualify for the breakfast free as well every single day. Or if you qualify for a partial, you can get reduced prices of lunches and breakfasts. So that can really help the budget if there's anything at the school that they serve that your kids like. On those days, my daughter has a couple meals a week that she likes that her school regularly serves on the same days every week. So on those days, she prefers to eat lunch at school. And then on the other days, we pack lunch for her. So tip number two is to utilize leftovers. Anything that you have left over that should get used up. This can be from prior lunches, prior dinners, even breakfast foods. Kids like pancakes in their school lunches. Utilize anything that is left over that needs to get used up, and that's basically free because you already had to spend that money on that food and you already had to prepare it for dinner, but anything that's left can get used for lunches for you, for all your kids. Pack them in their school lunches. Tip number three is to invest in a thermos. So a thermos or an insulated type container that can keep food warm. So that way, if you have any leftovers or food items that your kids just don't want to eat cold, and I can't say I blame them, you can heat them up in the morning and they will stay warm at lunchtime in the thermos. And a pro tip, you can also look for these free on your local buy nothing groups, or at least used. Go to thrift stores. Look at for garage sales, things like that. Put out some posts to friends and family that you are searching for one, and if anybody has one, that you would love to take it off their hands. Tip number four is to shop the clearance sections at your store. So things that I regularly find on clearance at the store that can be utilized for kids' lunches are the bread aisles. Of course, bread gets marked down, whether it's the bakery items, those are usually at my store in a different place. But you can find rolls, baguettes, donuts, all kinds of pastries, cookies, garlic bread, all that kind of stuff. And then on the bread aisle, they also will have buns and loaves of bread and donuts, bagels, English muffins, even like the prepackaged, Hostess and Debbie Lee or something like that. Little Debbie, is that what it is? Sara Lee and Little Debbie, I think I was combining those. All those little snacks, little treats, those get marked down sometimes at my store. So check both areas for any of the bread type items. And then snack foods, if you have a clearance section, usually mine's in the back of the store. But search or ask somebody at your store where your clearance section is for the processed food, the canned foods, the dry goods. And a lot of times I can get packages of granola bars and different individual snacks, Hostess snacks, things that they're trying to get rid of. I've found a lot of pepperoni sticks back there, but a lot of different snack foods, bags of popcorn and chips that they are getting rid of. Maybe they have a surplus or they're getting close to the expiration, and you can individually pack those for lunches. The dairy aisle also has regular markdowns on clearance for me, yogurts especially, and yogurt is a great item to pack. Sometimes cheeses get marked down, or those little snack packs with the cheese and the pepperoni bites or crackers with cheese. Produce is another area that's great to look for markdowns. Bananas are often marked down if they have any spots, but if your kids like them, more ripe like that. They are sweeter. That's a great area to find those. Sometimes an apple that may have a little bruise, but you can slice them up and ignore the bruise part. Also, other items like cauliflower, broccoli, if your kids like those, cut into florets for dipping. So produce is a great item for things that are marked down. Lunch meats is another area. Sometimes they're getting close to the expiration, and you can find ham and turkey and chicken and bologna and whatever lunch meats your kids like. And then the deli area as well. So a lot of times in the deli area, they will have sliced lunch meat from there, as well as the deli salads, potato salad, macaroni salad, fruit salad, all kinds of little deli salads. If your kids like those, they will, whatever they have left over at the end of the night, they will box it up and put it out on markdown. The next tip is to get creative, change things up. So you can pack the same types of items, but just a different variety, and it will change the lunch entirely for your kids so they are never bored. So here are some tips that go along with being creative. Things that I like to do is to change up the bread. So if you make sandwiches for your kids, you can insert, instead of regular sliced bread, of course you can use that as well, but whatever you were able to get on clearance or marked down, or you have left that needs to get used up, like rolls, tortillas, pita pockets, bagels, English muffins, all of those can be used in place of bread for the same types of sandwiches. You can add fun dips. So if they like fruit or veggies and they want something to dip it in, or tortilla chips to dip it in, you can change it up, like ranch dips, barbecue, nut butters, apple slices with like almond butter, peanut butter, different types of nut butters, sunflower butter as well. Yogurts for a dip is a great fun item for kids, especially if they're dipping their fruit into yogurt. Hummus is another one. Guacamole, I get those on markdowns a lot. Guacamole is marked down quite often in my Kroger store. Marinara, if you have sauce left from a dinner. Those are all fun ways for kids to dip foods in, and it just changes up what they feel like their lunch is made of. The next tip for getting creative is to change up the dippers. So what you're actually sending for your kids to dip in, whatever you have on hand, it needs to get used up or marked down. Apple slices, carrots, snap peas, cut up bell pepper if your kids will eat them, or jicama strips. Those don't really have a taste, but they're really crunchy, so a lot of times kids like them. Broccoli, florets, etc. Also change up the proteins. So if your kids are tired of ham and cheese or bologna and cheese, whatever you have normally packed for them, there are all different types of protein options you can send. Lunch meat, of course, in a sandwich or just roll up slices. I also have liked to put in cream cheese in like some ham slices and roll those up with toothpicks, and kids love eating them that way. Hard-boiled eggs, cut up leftover chicken or steak into little bite-sized chunks, and they can have it as like a finger food. Smoked salmon is another option. Tuna fish, of course. Cut up hot dogs. So think of whatever protein you have left over that needs to get used up, and how would it be fun for your kids to eat it. You can also, with lunch meat, you can put it on a sandwich. You can roll it up, as I mentioned, and you can slice it up into small little slices and small little slices of cheese with some crackers, and you've got homemade Lunchables. And the next tip for getting creative is to also use up your dairy by the expiration. Look for things on markdown and keep track of those dates so you're using up what you need to first. But also, they can be used a lot of the time way past the expiration. So just check if it's still good, even if the date is passed. So things like yogurt, a whole yogurt or a part of yogurt for a dip, either way. Chunks or slices of cheese, string cheese, cream cheese, cottage cheese, and then you can make fun dips out of like milk if you need to use up your milk, or your sour cream, or mayo, or buttermilk. You can change up, you can use different seasonings to make ranch type dips, or Caesar, or dill, all kinds of different options there, even mix with some barbecue sauce as well, or with ketchup and mayo and make like a fry sauce. A lot of different options for using up what you need to get used up. All right, tip number 6 is to choose fruits that are in season. Fruit is a great side option for your kids, whether you cut it up and make a fruit salad, or it's just a whole piece of fruit as a side dish. So a banana, of course, is a great option for that. And even you can cut up banana slices and put on a little bit of honey or yogurt. Apples is another one. Oranges or a mandarin orange. Peaches and nectarines, plums, anything that whatever's in season as a whole fruit can be a great side dish to send in. You can also send in berries when they're in season. Mangoes, cut up the mango into little chunks. Melon, watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupe, whatever your kids like, pineapple, all of those make great sides for their main dish. Tip number 7 is to buy larger bags of snacks and portion them out yourself. So those individual packed snacks that you can buy at the store, even when they're on sale and with a coupon, still tend to be more per serving than if you bought in bulk and divvied them up. So like the biggest package of goldfish crackers, for example, or chips or pretzels or nuts. Shop the best price per ounce. Sometimes the one that's on sale is the smallest size, and that actually ends up being the best price per ounce if you really do the math. And sometimes it's the middle size. It changes all the time. So shop whatever the best price per ounce is based on sale prices and coupons combined. Check warehouse stores. Sometimes you can get really good deals at warehouse stores like Costco and Sam's Club, and then portion them out yourself. You can even do this for a week's worth and just have them ready, grab and go every morning to make it easier for you. And then the last tip I have for you today is to pack water in a reusable water bottle. So they don't need anything else to drink. Don't spend money on sodas and juices and powdered water flavorings, all that kind of stuff. Just avoid that, spending that money. They really need water to hydrate during school. They don't typically, my kids don't hydrate nearly enough. So I'm happy anytime they can add water into their little bodies. Pack water in a water bottle for them. And in our school, their teachers let them have the water bottles out on their desks. So it encourages them to drink water all day long. All right, drop in a comment any tips that you have for helping us save money on kids' school lunches. I know there are more tips. These are the ones that I had come up with that I regularly do for my daughter. My boys don't really take lunches or eat lunch at school anymore. One of my boys has school at home. The other one doesn't take lunch or eat lunch at school. But my daughter does, and these are the tips that I use. So I hope they help you save some money this school year. And I am just praying for an amazing school year for all of your kiddos and for you as well. All right, take care, and I will talk with you next week. Have an amazing back to school season. Talk to you next week. Blessings to your family.